What's up, guys? We're here with Saturday NFL playoff football action for the divisional round. We're going to take a deep dive on the Bills versus Broncos and 49ers versus Seahawks. I'll give out my favorite bets against the spread and over-under, and we're going to look at a bunch of NFL player props. Also, we're going to cover the biggest college basketball games for Saturday, so buckle up. We have a great video for you today. Do me a huge favor, guys. Keep doing what you've been doing and slam that like button. It only takes about a tenth of a second to click that little button, and it makes a huge difference to me every single day. Seeing that like number go up really helps get these videos promoted out there across YouTube and really just helps the channel grow, and so does clicking that little subscribe button. That makes a big difference as well. Really happy with all the new subscribers we've been getting. Check down below and see if you're subscribed. There could be, you could have been watching this channel for a long time and not even know that you weren't subscribed. So definitely, click that button. It helps you get notified when I, post a new video, and I post a new one every single day, so you definitely want to make sure you don't miss out. Also, get down there in the comments, let us know anything you're thinking about these videos, any plays you're looking at today across the sports world. I'm more than happy to get back to you. I'm in those comments every single solitary day. I try to answer all of them. It can be a little bit tough with a 1-year-old in the house, but really, guys, I'm in those I at least read, if not respond to every single comment I get every single day. You also got to check that pinned comment every day. That's the top comment below the video. It's going to have my favorite picks from the video in there every single solitary day. Those are my favorite plays. You definitely want to be checking on those, and check that pinned comment a couple times throughout the day, just in case anything major changes out there. Injury news can come in, massive line changes come in, crazy news can break, and lots of different things can lead to us having to change something there in the pinned comment. We try to avoid it, but that's not always possible. In terms of results for yesterday, guys, on the YouTube side, not looking so hot. Some pretty bad luck out there. We had the under there in the Pelicans-Pacers game, and no one missed a shot on either side. The Pelicans shot 30 free throws. Indiana still got the win, but unfortunately that was an over game. We had the 76ers minus 1.5, and they just fell apart on us down the stretch. Jalen Tyson, he killed us. He had a career game shooting 13 of 17 and going 7 of 9 from 3. Maxey had a back-to-back terrible performances in this one, and the 76ers end up losing by 2, giving up a pretty sizable lead. We bricked out on Kent State minus 4.5 as well. They came out absolutely flat in the first half. They came roaring back to eventually win this game, but they only won by 3. If they would have shot the ball even close to normally, this would have been an extremely easy win and cover for us. We did cash DePaul minus 3.5, despite lots of drama swirling around this program and around college basketball in general. The Blue Demons put together a great second half comeback to get the win and cover against a Marquette team that is so bad it's really starting to get a little bit embarrassing for them. We still have the Timberwolves live at plus 3.5. They're going down to the wire there with the Rockets. We would have expected Houston to fall off a little bit there in the fourth quarter, since they're playing on back-to-back nights and played very heavy minutes there on Thursday, but they've hung pretty tough here on Friday, so we'll see what happens at the very end of that game. It'd be great to cash our dog of the day, because our lock of the day found a way to lose. Ohio played so bad there against Ball State. Maybe we need to investigate Ohio's college basketball players for tanking, because that was an embarrassing one, guys. They did not look good at all. Made a decent comeback, but not enough to get themselves the win against Ball State, one of the worst teams in all of college basketball. So hopefully we can get that Minnesota win, limit the bleeding a little bit. We were coming off a massive 5-1 day there yesterday, so giving a little bit back today isn't great, but maybe not the end of the world. On the premium side, it's looking like NHL might carry the day. They could have a 3-0 NHL day cooking over there. So we'll see what happens there. Let's go ahead and dive in. We got 2 massive football games to break down, and then some nice college basketball action here on Saturday. So let's go ahead and get after it. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Now let's dive into the Buffalo Bills heading to Denver to take on the Broncos in the AFC Divisional Playoffs. The Bills come into this game, probably feeling pretty great. They put together a big win against Jacksonville to start the playoffs there, get the 27-24 win. Really came down to the wire there. A late interception is what sealed the game there for the Bills. Obviously, Josh Allen has to do a lot of the work here on his own. He ended up with 273 passing yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. He was sacked 1 time, so not too bad work there at all. The running game did not look very good. That's a big concern here. Cook and Josh Allen put together the better running day, in my opinion. He had 33 yards and 11 carries and 2 rushing touchdowns. Cook, 15 carries for 46 yards there is nothing too special. He needs to have a much better day. The wide receiver group did not look great from the Bills there, except for Khalil Shakir. He was amazing. Caught all 12 of his targets for 82 yards. He was looking amazing out there. They're going to need something very, very similar from him in this one, as that Bills wide receiver room is looking a little bit limited. Not going to have a ton of great pass catching options out there today. We'll see what Josh Allen can make out of what he has. And I mean, over the course of the season, he hasn't had a wide receiver one. This team has been relatively limited in what they've been able to put on the field in terms of great pass catching options for him, but he has made it work. That's kind of his MO. He makes it work, finds some way to make it work pretty much every single week here for the Bills. Josh Allen is a little bit banged up. We'll talk about that when it comes time to address the injury report. Overall, though, a pretty decent day for them offensively. Ray Davis fumbling the ball away that one time. That was not a good look. That was certainly not helpful, but that was the only turnover the Bills had in the entire game. The kicking situation for Buffalo is obviously far from ideal, but we did see Matt Prater knock in both of his field goals, knocked in a 50-yarder, so seems like that might be a little bit more under control here. Cam Little missing a field goal was a pretty big deal there for Jacksonville. Now, defensively, the Bills did a pretty good job. Came with 2 interceptions, including that game-sealing interception. They did give up 3 passing touchdowns and 207 passing yards there to Trevor Lawrence. That's not exactly a great look. You're about to take on a clearly better Denver Broncos team, so definitely issues to be addressed. They also got kind of tore up there by the Jaguars' running attack. Travis Etienne Jr., 10 carries, 67 yards. Very, very good work there. Tootin put up some big runs against them as well. Trevor Lawrence even ran the ball 6 times for 31 yards against the Bills. So, yeah, not a team that looked great at stopping the run, and stopping the run is definitely something they're going to have to find a way to do in this specific matchup. So, we'll see what they can do here. Their injury report is a little bit troubling. Now, they're not going to have very many healthy wide receivers for this game. I mean, not a lot of second stringers going to be able to go out there. Ty Johnson, Curtis Samuel, probably both going to miss this game. Joshua Palmer's on the IR, so he's obviously very much out. Kincaid and Dawson Knox could be, interesting options there at tight end. I think they'll be very involved in the passing game, but something I am worried about that's not really being reported or talked about that much is the health or lack thereof for Josh Allen. Right now he's dealing with foot, knee, and right finger injuries. He doesn't have any injury designation for this game because obviously he's 1,000,000,000% going to play, but he is not going to be at full strength. He's practicing, that's great. Obviously, he's going to be fine, but certainly not at full strength for this game. At least it would seem impossible that a guy dealing with those many issues, especially lower body issues, could be at full strength here. But we'll see what he can do. The defense is a little bit banged up for Buffalo as well, guys. Jordan Poyer is going to be sidelined for this game. Terrell Bernard could end up missing this thing. He's questionable there at middle linebacker. He did practice there in a limited fashion on Thursday, so I think he'll probably play, but will he play the whole game? That might be a big ask. And Ed Oliver, he is also questionable from this game, or coming back from injury reserve. So it sounds like he's going to play. He's going to be out there. Is he going to be ready to make a huge difference and play 1,000,000 snaps in this one? We'll have to wait and see. That seems relatively unlikely. So they're going to need to be at as close to full strength as they can possibly be going on the road here to take on the Denver Broncos. They got to wait and regroup and watch and chillax through wildcard weekend. That 14-3 regular season record earned them a bye week. They finished the regular season off strong with a 19-3 win there over the Chargers, so very, very good work in that one. They didn't make Bo Nix do too much in that game. He completed 14 out of 23 passes, no touchdowns, no interceptions, only 141 yards. He was still sacked 4 times, which obviously isn't great, but he did some good work there in the ground game. Carried the ball 8 times for 49 yards. McLaughlin had 6 carries for 41. As a team, they had 116 rushing yards. Not a bad day in the ground game. Evan Ingram had a decent day catching the ball, caught 3 out of his 4 targets. Pat Bryant was very involved in the passing game, or the receiving game as well, and Denver managed to put up 19 points. Now, this wasn't necessarily like going against the Chargers A team. I mean, this was a game where Trey Lance started. So Denver probably not going to get too overjoyed with that win. They did a great job defensively, which is what you would expect them to do against the second stringers there of the Chargers, giving up only 3 points, which is kind of par for the course for a Denver team that gave up 18.3 points per game. That's third best in the NFL in terms of points allowed this season. They did a good job against the Chiefs. They did play the Jaguars and really struggled against them earlier this year, which is a bit of a concern here going up against the Bills, but we'll see what they're able to do. This defense has been absolutely amazing all all season long, so it would be pretty shocking to see them fall off. They've had good games this year against decent teams like the Packers, good stuff against the Chiefs a couple times this year, holding the Texans down, holding the Cowboys to only 24 points. That's a very, very solid showing against one of the most dynamic offenses in the NFL. So there's a lot to like here about the Denver Broncos defense. Their injury report also looks very, very good. Having a whole extra week off and not having to play is a huge deal, obviously. Bo Nix and everybody healthy and ready to go. RJ Harvey, Cortland Sutton ready to get out there. The whole offensive line for the Broncos is looking like it's in very, very good shape as well. So that's a big deal. The defense is also very healthy. This has been, like I was saying, one of the best defenses in the NFL this season. So them coming into this game very, very healthy. Obviously, it could be a bit of a tall task to slow down Josh Allen, but I think if any unit is up to that task, it might be these Denver Broncos. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Broncos are 1.5 point favorites at home. We've got a total of 45.5. The Bills, they're 9-9 against the spread, 5-4 against the spread on the road, 9-8-1 to the over, 5-3-1 to the under when playing on the road. The Broncos are 7-9-1 against the spread this year. They're 5-4 against spread at home, 10-7 to the under, and 5-4 to the under at home. In terms of weather concerns for this game, looking like it's going to be not that bad, honestly, for a game in Denver this time of year. 38 degrees, 7-mile-an-hour winds, no precipitation. Everything should be very, very solid football weather for this one. So no major weather concerns here. In terms of our total of 45.5 in this game, we're seeing some movement here of this number towards the under. I'm still going to lean just slightly towards the over. I don't really have a big lean on the total in this game, though. So no major lean on the total in this one. In terms of a side, though, I will definitely be taking the Denver Broncos here at -1.5. The Bills are going to be a pretty big public side here. The books are going to need Denver. They hung this -1.5, and they have stuck with it. I'd rather be siding with the books in this one than with the public. The Broncos defense has been insane this season. Playing at home definitely helps. The Bills wide receiver situation is not looking good. So much on the shoulders here of, a very banged up Josh Allen. A terrible defense there for the Bills is going to give up some points. I just don't see this one going very well for Buffalo. I think Denver's probably going to win this game by around a touchdown, if not a little bit more. I could see this Bills defense really struggling, potentially. But regardless, I think Denver to win this one by more than 1.5 is a very good play. In terms of some props for this one, I'll take Dawson Knox over 21.5 receiving yards at -114. He's been over this number in 4 of his last 5 games and in 8 of his last 10 overall. He had 30 yards and caught all 3 of his targets against the Jaguars. I'm expecting Allen to find him at least enough here to get him to those 22 yards. That's not a huge ask, and even if they're not having a great time, Knox could get to this number. I also like Troy Franklin here, over 2.5 receptions at +136. A very intriguing number. He basically got abandoned there in the win over the Chargers, but obviously here against a pretty bad Bills secondary, I think we could see him get something around 5 targets, and surely if he does get to 5 targets, we could expect to see him reel in 3 of them. Also getting plus money here feels great. I'm not super high on Bo Nix to have some crazy days, so this one is, definitely deserves to be plus money, so we'll keep it a little bit in our back pocket. Next up, I'll take Bo Nix under 1.5 passing touchdowns here at -154. He's been under this number the last 3 weeks in a row. I just can't imagine him getting tons of opportunities, especially in the red zone, to be throwing the ball. Could he run for some touchdowns? Sure. But this Broncos team wants to win with their defense. And if Nix gets enough chances, he could end up with a turnover. I do not think the coaching staff is going to want to take those kind of chances, putting Bo Nix in a position where he could lose this game for their dominant defense. And speaking of Bo Nix, I'll also take him under 212.5 passing yards at -111. He's been under this number in 3 of his last 5 games, and for all the reasons we just talked about, I don't think we're going to see Denver throwing the ball a ton. And, this is a spot they're going to look to limit variance here. I think they're for sure by far the better team. I think that is going to certainly result in a lot of them running the ball and not too much action there for Bo Nix throwing the ball down the field. And our last prop for this one, I'll take Keel Shakir over 5.5 receptions at -112. I don't think the Bills are going to have many options besides throwing the ball. And with so many wide receivers banged up, I think the healthy ones will get plenty of work. Shakir's coming off that absolutely insane game. 12 receptions on 12 targets against the Jaguars. I don't think we need anything even close to that insane to cash this play. I think if he even has a decent day, he could get over this number. Now, guys, we're jumping in and breaking down the San Francisco 49ers heading to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. We got to shout out the sponsor today and every day's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members over there at Stump the Spread are getting daily NBA, NHL, UFC, NFL, college football, and college basketball picks. We had a monster day there on Thursday, looking like we might give back just a little bit here on Friday, but honestly, it was a bit of a bleak situation there in the sporting world on Friday. Not that much action in the college basketball streets, a fairly limited NBA slate. NHL is putting in some solid work over there. Potentially have a perfect 3-0 NHL day if Anaheim can come through for us in the third period, because already 2 blowout wins, taking the Nashville Predators, who won 7-3, and the Carolina Hurricane, who won 9-1. So easy cashes there on the NHL side for our premium members. And guys, you got to get over there and check out the premium picks, because what you see from me in the video is usually not going to match what you see from the premium cappers over there at StumpTheSpread.com, because I'm not a premium handicapper over there for NHL, NFL, college football, anything like that. We have a team of experienced guys over there covering all the major sports. Every single one of them has over a decade's worth of experience, and they're putting in a crazy amount of work covering those games for you every single solitary day. Also, one good day, you get a 3-1 or 3-0 or a 2-1 or whatever. You get a nice winning day over there from the premium picks. Those premium packages can pay for themselves very quickly. So definitely consider getting over there to StumpTheSpread.com and signing up for a premium pick package. But also, guys, you got to check out all the free stuff over there. We got free picks every single day posted under the free picks tab. Could be college basketball, could be college football, could be NFL. Any possible sport could end up in the mix there as a potential free pick at StumpTheSpread.com. And also, that's where you get on our free email newsletter, guys. And it's a fantastic resource. Every single day, you'll get one email straight to your inbox. It'll have at least one regular free pick in it, but it'll have tons of great information. Big golf write-ups went out this week on that PGA event that's been going on. Tons of fantastic information on all the niche sports like golf, NASCAR, WNBA, tennis, you name it. It could potentially end up in that email. And there are parlays in there all the time, and those emails come straight from the premium handicapper. So it's a great way to get in, get a little taste and get it in the door on that premium action. Those free emails are the way to go. Definitely get over there and check those out. It's free. All you got to do is give them your name and your email address to set up a free account over there at StumpTheSpread.com, and you'll be getting those emails on a daily basis. Also, get over to StumpTheSpread.com and consider purchasing a Stump the Spread hoodie if you're interested in rocking some of our gear out there. Also, if you've got any ideas for how to change the designs of our Stump the Spread hoodies, send them to support@StumpTheSpread.com. It'd be really cool to use some some information from you guys, some visuals from you guys in those hoodies. Also, if you're a huge fan of what you're seeing from us here every single day, click that little join button right below the video to sign up for a YouTube channel membership. YouTube channel members get early access to all of our videos. You get their name up on screen in every single video, but maybe most importantly, they get access to our members-only giveaways. We give away a Stump the Spread hoodie here every single solitary Monday to one random YouTube channel member. It's very easy to see how we do those giveaways, guys. We put the name of every single YouTube channel member on a big wheel. We spin that wheel live on the video. Whoever it lands on gets a Stump the Spread hoodie of their size mailed straight to their address of choice. So definitely, if you're interested, guys, make sure you're getting in on those giveaways every single Monday, like I said, for YouTube channel members. Now, let's dive in. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Get over to StumpTheSpread.com and check out all the good stuff over there. And let's get into our second NFL playoff game of the day. We've got a barn burner. We've got the San Francisco 49ers heading to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. Now, I know I said barn burner, guys. The last time these two teams met, it was a 13-3 kind of a snooze fest with Seattle coming out on top. But the 49ers, they took care of business there in the wild card week. They got the 23-19 win there over an interesting Eagles team that has to be pretty concerned with how things ended up this season. It was not smooth sailing for them, but Brock Purdy, a little bit of a bounce back day after a week of showing there against Seattle. He was picked off twice, which is not a great look. Only completed 18 out of 31 passes, but 2 touchdowns as well, 262 yards. Got sacked once, but only once, so not a bad day from him. Also ran the ball 9 times for 24 yards, which had to try to take some of the heat off of Christian McCaffrey, who only had 15 carries for 48 yards. He did not exactly have the day there in the running game that we expected, but he was very active there in the receiving game, caught 6 out of his 8 targets for 66 yards and 2 touchdowns. We also saw Demarcus Robinson go absolutely bonkers, catching 6 out of his 7 targets for 111 yards and a touchdown. He had that nice 61-yard catch in there. Juwan Jennings had a nice day. Kittle going down, obviously, that's a big problem for this team. We'll see what kind of impact it can have there on the running game, especially because there are guys that can step up and be difference makers in the pass catching game for the 49ers. But Kittle did feel to me like their best run blocking tight end. But we'll see how everything goes kudos there. On the defensive side, they did a very good job limiting Philadelphia. They didn't stop them, but they just limited everything they wanted to do. Slowed down Saquon enough. It took him 26 carries to get to his 106 yards. They slowed down Jalen Hurts, only allowed him to complete 20 of his 35 passes. Only gave up 168 yards and 1 passing touchdown. They only had that 1 sack. They didn't generate any turnovers either, but they did enough to slow down the Eagles. They were just constantly slowing down everything they wanted to do. Devonta Smith did have a decent day about them, but against them, but they really slowed down A.J. Brown. And overall, it's a very, very solid day there for a 49ers defense that hasn't been incredible this year. 13th in the NFL, giving up 21, 22 points per game is fine. Now, all that being said, the last time they faced the Seahawks, the defense had an amazing day, giving up only 13 points. So that was a very, very good showing in that one from the 49ers. Now, the injury report here from San Francisco is a bit troubling. Obviously, we're not going to be seeing Kittle until next season at the earliest, but we're liking what we're seeing partially, at least. And now Ricky Pearsall could potentially end up missing this game, but it sounds like he's going to play. He is listed as questionable, but I would be pretty floored to see him sit this game out. I mean, he's dealing with that PCL injury. He was out for week 16 and 18 and didn't play there against the Eagles, but I would certainly think he'd be able to come back. He has been able to practice in a limited fashion. Sounds like he is going to play in this one. Other than that, the offense is healthy and ready to go. That's a big deal. You need to have a healthy defensive line. Trent Williams, I'm not going to say he's at 100%, but he will be out there, and they're going to need him to create some holes and maybe make running the ball a little bit more doable there for Christian McCaffrey. On the defensive side, we do have some concerns. Winters, Gifford, and also, Jair Brown, all on the injury. Oh, no, Brown is a confirmed out. Okay, that's not great to be missing your safety for this game, but they did put up a good game last time out. Gifford is questionable over that quad injury. I do expect him to play. Winters, dealing with that ankle, is questionable as well. Will they play their full snaps? Maybe not, but I do think they will be out here as they go on the road to take on the Seattle Seahawks. Now, Seattle, they got to rest and recoup last week. They finished the year 14-3 overall. They got that big 13-3 win over the 49ers in their last game of the season. Darnold, it sounds like he's going to play, but it also is being weirdly floated that might be up in the air, whether or not he plays. So that would be a pretty huge deal here. In that when they got over the 49ers in the last week, the regular season, Darnold was not great. He wasn't terrible either, less than 200 yards passing, but completed 20 out of 26, 0 interceptions. He was sacked a couple times, didn't do anything too crazy in the running game. It was really Kenneth Walker III and Zach Charbonnet that won them this game. They had, 33 carries for 180-something yards and 1 touchdown. That was a big day. Jackson Smith and Najigba had a good game as well, as we kind of expect him to always have, but really they just did barely enough there offensively to get to 13 points and to eventually beat the 49ers there 13-3. It was a great day there for the Seattle Seahawks defense. Will they be able to replicate that in this one? Well, it's not impossible. Over the course of the season, they're first in the NFL, giving up only 17.2 points per game. But when you look at what they did against elite level teams, like obviously they had one great game against the 49ers there at the end of the season and a pretty good game against them early in the season. They also struggled against the Rams, a game they should have lost. They gave up 37 points, and that one should have been more points than that, to be honest. They gave up 24 points in a 24-30 win there over the Titans. Like, they've not been an infallible defense. I can't say that. So we'll see what they can do in this one. The injury report for Seattle, the big major and almost only concern really out there is that Sam Darnold injury. Now, he's dealing with an oblique issue. Those can be pretty finicky. There's confidence that he will be available for this game, but will he be at 100%? Your obliques are pretty important there as a quarterback. He did make an early exit there from Thursday's session to get treatment on that oblique injury. Limited listing there in practice, designation of questionable entering this weekend. I do obviously fully expect him to play, but if he's not at 100%, Darnold can have some implosion games, like where he threw 2 interceptions against the Rams in that game they should have lost, or where he threw an interception there against the Panthers, or got picked off by the Falcons. Like, he can have some issues. So we'll see what goes on in this one. Despite those concerns, guys, the Seahawks are 7-point favorites. We also have seen 7.5s available throughout the week at different points. Right now it's 7, so that's the number we're going with. We've got a total of 45.5 in this one. The 49ers, they are 11-6-1 against the spread this season. They are 8-2 against the spread playing on the road. 10-7-1 to the over, 6-3-1 to the over on the road. The Seahawks are 12-5 against the spread this year overall, but only 4-4 against the spread at home this year. They're 9-8 to the over and 5-3 to the over at home. First of all, guys, we got to talk about the weather, which is no concern at all in this game, which is wild. There's not even any rain in the forecast for a Seattle Seahawks game. That is nuts. We've got around 45 degrees, 2-mile-an-hour winds. Absolutely no weather considerations in this one. I'll be taking under 45.5 in this game. We've seen too many low-scoring games from these two teams throughout the season to think we're suddenly going to see some sort of offensive outburst in this one. I do not think we see a crazy amount of points put on the board in this one. I will definitely be taking under 45.5. In terms of a side, guys, we're going to take the 49ers here getting 7. It's so hard when you're facing a divisional opponent so many times in a year to get a blowout win like this. Brock Purdy is 6-1 in his career against Seattle. Shanahan in the wild card and divisional rounds is 6-1 against the spread and 7-0 straight up. When he's an underdog on the road in that spot in his career, he's 3-0. Not against the spread, guys, but 3-0 straight up. Will he find a way to get the win in this game? Feels like a big ass. The 49ers are definitely a banged up team, but I don't trust a healthy Sam Darnold. I definitely don't trust Sam Darnold with a messed up oblique in this spot. I will be taking the 49ers here, getting those 7 points. In terms of some props for this game, I'll take Brock Purdy over 1.5 passing touchdowns here because of the price tag. It's plus 144. I know this is a big ask going in Seattle, but I'm projecting a big bounce back from Purdy in this one if he can get comfortable back there at all. I don't think it's crazy to think he could throw 2 touchdown passes, whether this is a win or even if it's a potential loss there for the 49ers. I think Purdy to throw a couple touchdowns is very, very live, and at that price, it's very reasonable. I'll also take Juwan Jennings over 3.5 receptions here at minus 125. He got over this number in a terrible game against the Seahawks back on January 3rd, and I think he should get over it today. He's clearly got the talent to find separation. I think that the San Francisco scheme is going to be drastically improved for this game, and I think that's going to result in Jennings having a few nice catches. On the other side, guys, I'll take Sam Darnold under 28.5 passing attempts at minus 115. He went under this number in the win over the 49ers back on January 3rd, and actually has been under it 2 games in a row now. The Seahawks know this guy is someone who could lose in this game if he has one of those Darnold throws it to the other team kind of games, and I think they're going to try and keep him from being, keep that from being a possibility as much as they can, and if he's banged up, that just gives them a great excuse to kind of try and take the ball out of his hands. On the 49ers side, I do like Jake Tonges over 36.5 receiving yards at minus 114. He's filling in some massive shoes, both literally and figuratively there with Kittle out, but I think he could be up to the task. His last game where he saw tons of action, he went nuts against the Bears, and while Seattle is clearly a different animal, I do think he'll be very productive in this one. In our last prop, guys, I'll take Kenneth Walker III over 58.5 rushing yards at minus 111. He's been over this number in 3 of his last 5 games, but most importantly, he ran wild against the 49ers in their last matchup, getting 97 yards on 16 carries. He doesn't need to be even close to that kind of production level in this one to get us the over, and the 49ers linebacker core is very banged up, so I think Kenneth Walker III could be in for a pretty good game, regardless of how much success Seattle finds overall. Now, guys, hopping over to look at some of the biggest games in college basketball here on a very busy Saturday of sports action just across the slate. The first one we're going to take a look at, we've got the number 19 Florida Gators. They're going on the road to taking the number 10 Vanderbilt Commodores. Florida comes into this game 12-5 on the season, so finding a lot of success. They're fresh off a very comfortable road win there at Oklahoma. They won that one 96-79, so pretty dominant stuff, and I was impressed with what I saw from Florida going on the road. They haven't necessarily been an amazing road team at different points of this season, but they did a great job dominating the boards in this one. That's something they needed to do in this matchup for sure. Didn't shoot the ball particularly well, only 27% from 3, 6 of 22 overall, but shot 54% from the field in general. Really used their size and athleticism and just dominated on the interior in this one. We saw 4 double-digit scores there in the starting lineup. Very, very good work there from the Florida Gators. And this has been a good Florida team this season. Have they been super consistent? Maybe not. I mean, we got that loss at Missouri. They lost against UConn, lost against Duke, lost against TCU. All of those losses are looking pretty forgivable at this point. This is a good team. They're in the top 40 nationally in points per game. They're the second best rebounding team in terms of just like raw total rebounding. So there's a lot to feel good about right now if you're the Florida Gators. They're definitely headed in the right direction there in the SEC, 3-1 overall. Obviously, that loss against Missouri is one they wish they could have back, but they are playing pretty well here as they go on the road to take on the Vanderbilt Commodores, who are 16-1 on the season. They're ranked number 10 in the nation. They're coming off their first loss of the season. They went to Texas, and things did not work out there in Texas, guys. 80-64 loss is definitely not what we saw coming. We had the Vanderbilt Commodores there on the money line in that game, and they really let us down. They didn't shoot the ball terrible. 36% from three-point range is not that bad, but they got destroyed on the boards in this one, which is not like Vanderbilt. That's just not usually what goes on for them, but Texas wanted it more. Vanderbilt couldn't get a whole lot going in that game. Duke Miles had 21 points, but nobody did anything off the bench. It was just a really, really bad showing for Vanderbilt, and there is the possibility that this was a letdown, look-ahead kind of spot for them because they saw this Florida game coming up on deck. Duke Miles has been excellent this season, 17.5 points per game. Tyler Taner's been a monster, 17 points and 5 assists. Tyler Nichols a monster, 52% from the field and shooting and averaging 15 points per game. This is not an elite level rebounding team, but I don't expect them to get absolutely smashed on the boards here, especially not playing at home. They're 12th in the nation total offense. Their defensive numbers are very solid as well. So looking at the numbers in this game, Vanderbilt, they're 2.5 point favorites at home. We've got a total of 162.5. Florida is only 6-11 against the spread this season, 10-7 to the under. Vanderbilt's 10-7 against the spread this year, 9-8 to the over. I do think Florida is a very good team, guys, but I'll take Vanderbilt here playing at home to win and to cover. I think they're the better team in this spot, at least. I do worry about the rebounding situation there for the Commodores, but with this being such a big bounce back spot for them and maybe a potential letdown spot there for Florida coming off that blowout win over Oklahoma, I think this is going to be a spot you want to back the Vanderbilt Commodores. Rolling right along here, guys, we got the Nebraska Cornhuskers, the number 8 Nebraska Cornhuskers, putting their undefeated 17-0 streak on the line as they head to Northwestern to take on the Wildcats out there in the Big Ten. Now, Nebraska has been, I don't know what to say. Cinderella story? I don't even know if that's right. They're just looking like casually one of the best teams in the nation. They've got big wins under their belt already this season. They've taken down, they started things off pretty slow early, not playing too many tough opponents, but they blew out Creighton. They blew out Wisconsin by 30. They beat Illinois by 3. That's number 13 Illinois. They beat Michigan State in a very, very close rock fight of a game. They beat Ohio State in a close one. They took care of business there at Indiana, not necessarily the easiest place to play. And their last time out, they got a 90-55 win there over Oregon. Now they got to head to Northwestern, so we'll see what they can do on the road in this spot, but they've looked very, very good. Sanford's led the way for this team in terms of scoring, but not by any sort of crazy margin. There are tons and tons of guys. This squad kind of does it by committee. Anybody could go off on any given night. They're 104th in the nation total offense. Their defense is stifling, giving up only 65.5 points per game, and they can get it done on the board. So we'll see what they do here on the road against the Northwestern Wildcats, who are not having a great time. They are 0-6 so far in conference play, guys. Not having a good time in the Big Ten. They're coming off a 79-68 loss there against Illinois, which at least they kept that one competitive. After this game, it's also kind of a weird look-ahead spot for the Wildcats. They play Nebraska, and then they fly out to California to face USC and then UCLA. So we'll see if they've got their heads on straight for this game. They have played some kind of competitive ones, but obviously nothing has gone their way, in conference play so far. They're a really bad rebounding team. The defensive numbers also concern me. Nick Martinelli is a monster, but that's kind of where the great list of players on this team ends. So I'm a little bit surprised to see this number where it is. Northwestern's getting 5.5 points here at home. We've got a total of 148.5 in this game. It's not a massive look-ahead spot for Nebraska. They host Washington next, so I'm a little bit surprised. Nebraska's 10-6-1 against the spread this year, 11-6 to the under. Northwestern is 6-10-1 against the spread, 10-6-1 to the over. I'm not interested in the total in this game, but I will definitely take Nebraska here at -5.5. This line stinks. I feel like we could be walking into a bit of a trap, but the last couple times we thought we were walking into a trap on the college basketball side, things went great for us, so I will take Nebraska here at -5.5, and this could definitely make the pinned comment. Next on the docket, guys, we got one of the biggest games of the day. We got the number 17 Arkansas Razorbacks heading to Georgia to take on the number 21 Bulldogs. Now, Arkansas, they're 13-4 on the season. They're coming off a much-needed bounce-back win. They're taking down South Carolina in a blowout. That was after getting kind of blown out there at Auburn. So we'll see what they can do in this one. They've got Georgia and then Vanderbilt coming up on deck, so definitely not the easiest schedule. This Arkansas team has been amazing this year, 16th in the nation total offense, decent rebounding team, obviously having a pretty good time so far in SEC play, going 3-1, so a lot of stuff pointed in the right direction for them. We'll see if it can keep rolling here as they go on the road to take on a very tough Georgia team that's 21st in the nation. They are 14-3 on the season. They're 2-2 in SEC play. They're coming off a tough loss there at home against Ole Miss, so this is definitely a bit of a bounce back spot. They also struggled against Florida, but they've they've played well at home, albeit, I mean, they just played a really close game there against South Carolina. So that does worry me a little bit. Obviously, this is a team with a nice home court advantage. Jeremiah Wilkinson is a monster, 18 points per game. Very, very good. This is technically still the top scoring team in the nation, first in total points per game, 17th in rebounding. I mean, all the numbers look great there for the Bulldogs, but when you look at their strength of schedule, they have not played the toughest team, so I'm not that shocked to see them have a little bit of a bumpy start here to SEC competition. Georgia, they're 2.5-point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 82.5. Arkansas, they're 12-5 against the spread this year, 10-7 to the over. Georgia is 7-10 against the spread, 10-7 to the over. I'm not taking over 182.5. That is bonkers to me, but I think Arkansas is by far the better team. Give me the Razorbacks here getting 2.5 points. You can take them on the money line as well. I have no problem with that. I think they're not going to have too much of an issue going into Georgia and taking care of business here against a Bulldogs team that I think is being overvalued, mostly just based on their record, which was mostly acquired, going up against some pretty terrible teams. Next, in another showdown between two very highly rated teams, we got the BYU Cougars, the number 11 BYU Cougars, heading to Texas Tech, just taking the number 15 Red Raiders. BYU, they're 16-1 on the season. Their only loss came by 2 points there against UConn. They've had a great time so far in the Big 12, going 4-0. They just took down TCU, a tough TCU team, winning that game 76-70. Played a very close one there at Utah, blew out Arizona State, did a great job there at Kansas State. Just a lot of things pointing in the right direction. Obviously, the talent on this team is crazy. Lots of guys going to be going, well, at least one major guy. You guys know who I'm talking about, going to be going very, very high there in the NBA draft this offseason. So a lot of great stuff cooking for BYU. They're a very good offensive team. They crash the boards. They play good defense. Will they be able to do that here on the road against Texas Tech? Number 15 Texas Tech is 13-4 on the season. They're coming off a solid win there over Utah. They took care of business at Colorado, but that was a nail-biter. They also played a very good game there at number 7 Houston. They beat Oklahoma State in a blowout. They beat Duke earlier this season, but lost to Arkansas, lost to Purdue. So there are definitely still things to work on here for this Red Raiders squad. I mean, JT Toppin is a monster. They're 76th in the nation offense. Their rebounding numbers are not quite as good as BYU's, but they're a pretty decent team on the glass. Their defense is good as well, so we'll see what they can do. They are listed as favorites in this game. They're 2.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 161.5. BYU is 9-8 against the spread this year, 10-7 to the under. Texas Tech is 7-10 against the spread, 9-8 to the under. Guys, I am a little bit worried about BYU here going on the road. A lot of young guys on this team. I don't know how well that kind of talent is going to travel. So this is a tough spot for me. Not going to be a pinned comment play, but I will take Texas Tech as a small lean. I think they find a way to steal one here. I mean, it's not really stealing one, but get the win and cover here at home. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we got the St. John's Red Storm heading to Villanova to take on the Wildcats. St. John's is 12-5 on the season. They haven't had, just easy success in the Big East so far. They're 5-1 though. They're having a pretty good time. They just blew out a terrible Marquette team. They went into Creighton and won. They went into Butler and won. So things have generally went the right direction. They were apparently a little bit overrated heading into the year. Seems they might be a little bit underrated now. We'll see. They're 37th in the nation total offense. They've got solid scoring. They've got solid rebounding. Not a lot of holes to find in this St. John's team. So we'll see what they can do on the road, taking on Villanova, who's also 5-1 in Big East play. They're coming off a nice win over Providence. They played a close one at Marquette, actually lost at home to Creighton. They beat Butler, they beat DePaul, they beat Seton Hall, which is looking like a pretty good win. So we'll see what they can put together in this one. Bryce Lindsey leading the way for this team. 15 points per game, shooting 44% from the field. Doesn't get me too jazzed up though. This Villanova team is really weak on the boards. Their offense isn't that great either. So look at the numbers. I'm not shocked to see them underdogs here at home. They're getting a 1.5. We've got a total of 149.5. St. John's is 9-6-1 against the spread this year. They're 10-6 to the under. Villanova is 11-6 against the spread this year. They're 9-8 to the over. I know we're going against a pretty big trend towards Villanova. I don't care. Give me St. John's here on the road. I think they're by far the better team, deeper, more talent. They've shown no qualms about going on the road, beating Creighton and Butler on the road very, very recently. Also going into Georgetown and getting a win in a tough environment. So I think St. John's to get the win and cover here is a smash type spot. This will definitely be making the pinned comment. Last but not least here, guys, we're headed to the Big 12 to look at the Kansas State Wildcats heading to Oklahoma State to take on the Cowboys. Kansas State, they're 9-8 on the season, but 0-4 in conference play so far. Not having a very good time out there in the Big 12. They played some tough opponents like BYU and Arizona, but also lost at Arizona State and then just lost 82-73 their last time out against UCF. So still a lot to prove. We've obviously liked what we've seen from PJ Haggerty this season. 23 points per game, 50% from the field, and 5 assists is not easy to do, but this team relies a little bit too much on him. They're 44th in the nation total offense. Great. They play very little defense, which in this specific matchup could be a pretty big problem. The Oklahoma State Cowboys are only 1-3 in Big 12 play, losing the last 2 in a row, but losing at Iowa State and against Baylor isn't that terrible. Obviously, they didn't play the toughest non-conference schedule, and they put up some decent wins. We'll see what they can do here as they continue into the conference schedule. They're 79th in the nation total rebounding. That looks decent. Anthony Roy has been a monster for them this season, but I do worry a little bit that this team is being a little bit overvalued based on early season success against some weak opponents. They're 4.5-point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 177.5. Kansas State is only 6-11 against the spread this year, though. They're 10-7 to the over. Oklahoma State is 8-9 against the spread. They're 10-7 to the over. I think we see Oklahoma State get back on track in this one and win this game by at least 5. Will this make the pinned comment? Absolutely not. I don't trust the Cowboys anymore after what I've seen over their last 4 games, but I do think they are capable of taking care of business here at home against a pretty bad Kansas State team, so give me the Cowboys as a small lean. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Do me that big favor, thank you for making these videos every single day, and click that like button. Hopefully it brings us good luck on our picks. Hopefully it gets this video promoted out there. I know the YouTube algorithm really likes those thumbs ups. Subscribe to the channel if you're really new, if you're new around here, or if you're old around here. Just check below and see if you're subscribed. Really enjoying all the new subscribers we're getting over here, on the channel lately. Really lets me know that making these videos every day is worth it. Get down there in the comments and let me know anything you want to ask about today's slate or tomorrow's slate or anything that's going on across the sporting world. I'm more than happy to get back to you. Make sure you're clicking the link in the description to get over there to stumpthespread.com. Check out all the free stuff we offer over there, the free picks tab, the free email newsletter, but more importantly, check out those premium picks, guys. This is a great time to dive in. Going to be tons of college basketball action here on Saturday, tons of NFL action coming up as well. Obviously, we got in NHL every single day. You guys know the drill. Tons of great action over there at stumpthespread.com, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow, guys. Same time, same place for more sports betting action.